So currently
Okay.
here, only one issue they are saying, this is the issue. Where is that issue? This is because of that. And guys, yesterday's class, some may be getting one issue, like, let me show that someone got one issue when using GitHub, when using the software. If you are getting, guys, okay, where is that issue? Yeah, guys, very simple. You most of you might have got this issue. Actually, it is unable to obtain your identity, guys. You can see that unable to obtain your identity. You only need to do this, guys. Open your Git GUI and go to repository and open Git bash. After you open Git bash, guys, you just run this command. The command has already given here. So git space config space hyphen global space user.email. In here, guys, you have to give your email, you@example.com. There you have to give your email and press enter. Then, guys, this error will be resolved. The problem is identity issue. The Git is unable to identify who you are. So further, you have to either give your email or your name. That will resolve this issue. Okay, guys, no worries. We will first 10 minutes we will allocate for the issues. So okay, okay. First of all, you all need to get the request approved by the Microsoft. Once it is done, you will create pipelines and you may get an errors in that. So let us continue with our concept, guys. And we have successfully completed our project one.
Sir, one doubt, sir. My name is
Yeah,
Subrat.
yeah,
So whenever you created a different stages, right?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
SIT, UAT. Whenever I try to deploy in SIT, it has
Hmm.
started from DV, then it went to SIT, sir. So what is the reason I want to know? Because I wanted to deploy only SIT. So
Okay.
it has
For that,
started with
yeah, actually, if you create a fresh release, there are
okay,
two things, guys. One, okay. Sir, let me explain quickly. There are two things, guys. Let me open that. Actually, there is a create release button. Okay,
right,
it,
right,
yeah. When you
yes,
click and we are having, this is my dev environment. This is my SIT. For example, this is my UAT and this is my prod. For example, okay. Now, guys, this is my artifact. This is your build number artifact. For example, this is the artifact.
yes,
And you will deploy the same for example, guys, each artifact will have a build number, guys. If you remember, if you observe, you can see some number like build 1 2 3, any number will be there. And guys, now these are the three environments or four environments: dev, SIT, UAT, and prod. Now, guys, here in real time how it will be done, I'll explain. Now, guys, we will be having a create release button over here. In the top, you can see a create release button. Now, guys, initially, when you want to deploy it to dev, you will just there is no live connection between these environment. When you click this button, create release, what will happen? The code will automatically release it to your first dev environment. And guys, if you want to deploy the same code to SIT, you should never click the create release button again. Don't do that. Click on the SIT button and okay, let me show that to you. You remember, guys, the name of the project yesterday? It's new ecom new
yes,
project.
ecom, yes,
Yeah, it's ecom new project. Yeah, if you go to your releases, the same artifact will be released to all the given environment. Now, guys, if you click, now you can see, guys, there are two builds and there is an okay. Let me create. I am changing something in the code, guys. For example, in the index.html file, I can change from here also, guys. Here I'm changing the title of the project. Where is the title? How okay, I'm adding something else, guys. Here I have changed the index file and I'm committing it. Now, guys, the code which was earlier not the same one, because I have updated it. And you know, guys, once the programmer update this code, we need to run the pipeline again so that we can get a new artifact. Wait for a minute. Now, guys, this artifact is having the old code. Now, when you run pipeline, now don't create a new pipeline. You just run the pipeline. Then, guys, wait for a minute. When you are running the pipeline, now what is the use of a build pipeline? It will, because you change the code in the repo, and the build pipeline work is to compile it because you made some changes in the code. Those changes may be correct or not. So guys, we will make sure the code is correct by running the build pipeline. Wait for a minute. It will be run and you will get a new artifact. Can you tell me the difference between the old artifact and the new artifact, guys?
We have changed in the title.
Yeah, some changes there. The code has changed by the programmer. In the old one is having the old version, the new one is having the new version. Now wait for a minute, guys. You will understand that. Why I am waiting here, guys? You can see actually we are waiting for an agent to be allocated. If you look at the agent request is not running because all potentially, yeah, what it is saying, the Microsoft, because this agent has to be given by a Microsoft server. What it is saying, the agent request is not running because all potential agents are running other requests, and current position in queue is 1. That means after one, because the same Microsoft server may be executing a lot of other projects pipelines also. Are you getting my point, guys? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Who runs this pipeline? Can anyone tell me, guys? Who is running this pipeline?
This is Microsoft hosted agent.
Yeah. There is a server, Windows server, which will actually give an agent to us. That agent run this pipeline. Currently, all the agents for that server are busy, so we are actually waiting. Sometimes, guys, it will be 5, 6, 7, 8. So, guys, you need to wait because it's a free account. We will be having this problem, but in when you join a company, they will take a paid version, and there will not be any waiting for you guys. But because we are using a free one, sometimes you may need to wait to get that agent from the server. So wait for 1 more minute. It will be started soon because the queue is 1 only. It is not 5 or 6 or 7. Yeah. So let me explain this, guys. Now, once it run, what will happen, guys? Here, you can see there is new green tick will appear here. Am I correct, guys? This is a new green tick. And if you observe this, guy, this is my number, commit number. Earlier, this is something else. Now we got a new number. And guys, you can see this is the bill number 150, the earlier one. The new one will have a new number. So in the same way, guys, if you go to the releases, you can say this is old code. The release 1 and release 2 is have the same code. Are you getting my point or not, guys? You will understand. Wait for a minute. You will understand. For that, this pipeline need to be run. Could you please run fast? Okay, meanwhile, let us go to the other. It will run, guys. We should not wait more than 5 minutes because the queue number is only 1. What I have just done, guys, I made a change in the repo. So to create the artifact, I'm running the same pipeline. After I run this pipeline, if you go to the release, now when you create release, guys, what will happen? The new build, the new artifact with the number 151 will be moved to the dev first. And guys, if you want to move the same build to the SIT, don't create this create release. Then what should you do? You need to click on the SIT environment. And guys, then you have to click the button deploy. Then guys, the same build will be, or the same artifact will be deployed to SIT environment. And if you want to release the same code to the UAT, then again click on UAT, and here again click the button deploy, and next you need to click the button deploy. In this way, guys, if you want to move the current version of the build or artifact into the different servers, don't click the create release. If you create release, the code will be moved to dev. and all others will be empty. And you can just click that particular environment and click the button deploy. Did you understand, guys? What have
Yes.
just
Yes,
that is
sir.
the way of deploying the code to different environments. Yeah, it is still waiting. So meanwhile, let me explain one theory concept, guys, for our project too. Yeah, we'll come back here later. Now, I think you know this diagram, now, guys. What type of architecture is this? It's a three-tier
Cla-
architecture. Yeah,
Yes.
three-tier architecture, you can say. In the three tiers, the first component is the front end, the second component is the back end, and the third component is my database. You know that. And you know there are a lot of programming languages the programmer can use, like React, Angular, Vue.js, .NET, anything for the front end. In the same way, the back end also they may be using .NET, Java, Python. And for the databases, you know, MS SQL, MySQL, there are a lot of different software available in the market. That is the language the programmer write. Now, guys, here, you know, this particular code need to be deployed to one of the service which is available in the cloud. Yesterday, guys, in our project one, we have deployed HTML website. What is the service which we have created, guys, in the cloud? Can you tell me where we have deployed the code in the cloud?
App service. App
Yeah,
service.
the name is app service. So generally, guys, we create app services to host our front-end applications. In the same way, guys, to host, for example, here, for my project, I have used React as my front-end programming language, and .NET as my back-end programming language, and SQLDB as my database. Now, you have deployed your React code in app service. Good, very good. Now, guys, to deploy the backend code, .NET code, here there are two options. First, either you can create same app service to host your backend, that can be done, or you can create function app, guys. Very, very famous Azure function app, guys. Generally, if the backend is .NET, we will create function apps, guys. So, guys, we have already seen how to create an app service. That is done. And today, guys, I'll show you how to create a function app and how to write a pipeline which will create a .NET artifact, and with the release pipeline, we will deploy this .NET code into my function app. Are you getting my point, guys? What is the use of a function app? It is another service given by the cloud. You can use this service to host your backend application. Is it clear or not?
Clear.
Yeah, clear. Now, guys.
I have a question. This
Yeah.
is Venkat.
Yeah.
I know little bit AWS is something like Lambda, right? Lambda.
Yeah. Lambda version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your question?
Yeah, can you use Java as a backend?
Yeah, you
or
can use,
Python.
yeah,
or
you can
Python.
you can use .NET Core, or you can use Java, or you can use Python, or you can use Node.js. You can use these are the famous four
Yes.
backend application, guys. What are the famous front end? You know,
React.
React, Angular, yeah,
Angular.
Vue.js.
Vue.js, very famous is Vue.js. Next, if you know, we will use .NET also as a front-end language, and you will use Java also as a front-end language, and you will be using PHP if you know it. PHP is another programming language, and or you can use HTML or CSS. So there will be n number of these. These are the most famous programming languages, guys, for the front end and the back end. So if it is front end, only one resource, you can deploy it to app service. Or, guys, there is another way. In future, you will know it. You can deploy it to a virtual machine also. So if it is a front-end component of your project, you can deploy it to either app service or to virtual machines in IaaS. You will know what.
Yes, yeah, through IaaS.
Yeah.
Internet website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Using
do that.
FTP
Yes.
website. Yeah.
Yeah. So these two things, you can deploy the front-end application or front-end component by using these two things. In the same way, the backend application, the programming language can be anything. So those as a DevOps engineer, they will ask you to create app service, either app service or function app. So you know, we have already seen how to create one app service that is completed. So today we will create one function app. Yeah, it is taking too much of time, guys. Wait for a minute. 10 minutes ago we have started. Still it is okay. Meanwhile, let me go to my cloud account. This is my cloud account, guys. Now search for function app. Yeah, you can see function app. Now, guys, just create it. Create your first function app. Generally, will be used to host .NET Core backend applications. Now you need to, yeah, let me create project A resource group for it. Done. Now give a name, .NET Core backend function app. Create that. Select .NET because it is .NET. Select .NET. You know, a region can be depending upon the client. You have to select the region. Now just click the button, review and create. Now just click the button, create. Now what are we doing? We are actually deploying a backend function app, guys. Wait for a minute. Very simple, guys. All the services can be created by clicking some button. That's it. You will not write any code. You only need to click or some button. That's it. Wait for a minute. It is validating actually. Done. Click the button, create. Now initialize the deployment. Still queued. If you see here, guys, now your queue number is 2. If you see that. You can see the queue number is 2 for the latest pipeline. For this, the queue number is 1. Okay, let's wait for some more time. Meanwhile, guys, we are currently the deployment is in progress. That means we are deploying the function app.
Sorry, Venkat, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Is that queue means will there be we are standing in queue until someone else's program finishes? Or...
Yeah, we have to wait until the agent is free because that agent is currently executing someone else's pipeline.
Okay.
Okay, we have to wait until that pipeline is over.
Okay. If it is, what about if it is hundreds? Is there any?
No, you can't do anything. If you're using a free account, that is the reason.
It is only for free account, right? Not for
not for the paid one. No.
Paid one.
Companies won't use free account now because to practice we use free account.
Okay.
In company, you will not see that queue wait. That will not happen.
Correct. In companies, it will not. It should not happen.
Yeah, it will never happen. Okay. Now, guys, you can see the deployment is complete. Now observe clearly, guys. When I have created this app service, when you browse it, if you remember, it said the web app is running, waiting for the content. In the same manner, the function app, when you want to browse it, you can see your function 4 app is up and running. So, and you can observe here, Azure function is an event-based serverless compute experience to accelerate your development. That means, guys, can you tell me when a backend application will be hit? Okay, it's a little bit here. I'll explain. Can you tell me, guys, this is the user. Now, this user will have a direct access of this backend or database. Can he see the backend or database, guys? The user, the end user.
No,
he will never see that. He will only see the front-end application. So, guys, to invoke the backend, user need to do something on the front end. Am I correct? For example, he has given his click the button login. He has given his username and password. He need to hit the button submit. When he hit the button submit, an event will be generated or created. That event will call the backend application. Am I correct, guys? So this backend application to be fired, there should be one event generated by the user. Here, guys, there will be different types of, that is the reason it is saying event-based serverless compute experience. So, guys, here, if you go to the functions part, you can see it. Function apps will be having a lot of functions, guys. I'll explain what are the general functions which will be used by the backend programmers. For example, just click the button create, guys. Click the button create. I'm creating my first function. There will be these many types of function will be there, guys, and this will be created by the backend programmer. So there is no need for you to know it, but I'm explaining how these work. So click the button HTTP trigger. This is the function template create. I'm creating my first function in my function app. Function app is nothing but, guys, it will be having more than one function in it. You can see this is my function, the first function which I have created in my function app. Let me go back again. This is my main function app, and I will create another type of function. I'll explain what are these things. Wait for a minute. It is not simple, guys. App service, there is nothing but the backend. It will be, yeah, you can see there is second type of function, that is timer trigger function. I'm creating the second type of function. Let us create 3 functions for now. Okay, let me explain about these 2 functions first. Guys, if you see this, you can see, guys, there are 2 types of functions. And if you see the trigger part, trigger means how it will be invoked. The first one, guys, with one HTTP request. The second one, guys, with timer. I will give one example, guys. You have, okay, let me open any website here. This is my website, amazon.in. When I click the button orders, guys, you can see these are my recent orders. And guys, when I click some button track package, what will happen? One HTTP request. HTTP means, guys, you know, when you click this, something will happen here. Now you can see HTTPS something. So one HTTP request will be invoked, and guys, there will be a function written for this particular code here, guys. This has appear when I click this button. Am I correct, guys? Each button will have a function. When I click one button, something will happen, guys. You know that. When I click the, if you observe this URL, guys, when I click this button, one HTTP request has been invoked. And what happened here? The backend has taken this request and it processes something and it has given this output. Now, guys, here all HTTP requests will be invoked by the users. When a user click on any button, this particular function will be called. But timer trigger is completely different, guys. What is it? What is a timer trigger function? Timer triggers mean, guys, for example, there is no user. For example, you own a supermarket and the working hours of the supermarket is from 9 AM to 9 PM. And you have actually created a website for your supermarket. All users can order through the website. And every day, guys, at exact 10 PM, you want to get a message, and that message will contain how many goods have been sold for that for that day, that particular day. For example, some $2,000 of products have been sold on that particular day. So you should get a message saying that on Monday, the total income you got is like $2,000. Okay, if it is on Sunday, the income is of $1,000. So, guys, here this message should reach the owner at exact 10 PM on each and every day. For that, guys, you need to write a timer trigger. Timer trigger means, guys, no one will actually invoke it. A time will invoke it. For example, you can see, you just click on the timer trigger, and if you click on integration, click on integration button. HTTP means, guys, someone will click a button, then that will be triggered. If it is timer trigger, guys, you can see there is a timer set for this function. And the programmer, the backend programmer, what will he do? He will actually write the total code on this function, in this particular function. And you can see, guys, each timer function will have a schedule. This is known as a cron expression, guys. What is a cron expression? I will show you. Cron expression for timer trigger. You can see this, guys. For example, you have written a function, and the cron expression, guys, which you have given, if you go to this and if you update this, guys, currently it is saying 0*-5. This means, guys, it will fire for every 5 minutes. Example 9 a.m. 9:05. If it is like this, guys, the function will be called for every minute. If it is like this, guys, the function will be called every hour. And if it is like this, guys, the function will be called for every 6 hours. So for example, this, if you write this every day, daily, and if it is like this for every day at 10 a.m., for example. In this way, guys, for each and every requirement, there will be a cron expression, and that will be given by the backend programmer. You don't need to know that. But what is the use of this timer trigger function, guys? If I want to set, I want this function to be executed at every day night 10 p.m. I will set this timer, the cron expression for this timer trigger. And guys, when 10 p.m. happens, what will it do? The backend programmer will write some code. What the code will be like? It will calculate the total amount for that day, and it will send a message to the owner. Are you getting my point or not, guys? Is it clear or not?
So these timer triggers are all default functions? Or?
No. Actually, guys, depending upon if the requirement, there is the required document, and the client says that there should be one function, it should fire for every 1 hour. If he says that, then the backend programmer will write a timer trigger for that type of function. Are you getting my point, guys?
DevOps team won't write this.
No, DevOps team doesn't create these functions. Don't worry. I'm only telling this. Why
Yeah,
I'm telling
one second. Venkat.
Yes.
Then in timer trigger, there should be some input file.
Yes.
That should be put from the from programmer as well, where
Programmer,
we can upload,
yeah, just
where a programmer can upload that file.
Actually,
that code.
Listen, that we haven't done it. So we will
Okay.
be the backend programmer will write entire code. What is our work? We need to push the code to the repo, and we need to create a build and release pipeline for that code. Then, guys, the code will come and hosted in this particular function app. Are you getting my point, guys?
Yes, I understood.
Yeah.
But where is that path?
Yeah. Let me show you. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
I will show you one sample backend function. Guys, you will not write all these things. You will not create these things. But I want to show you, because sometimes what can they say? Can you please change the cron expression in the timer trigger? Then you need to know what is a timer trigger. Otherwise it will be odd now, guys. That is the reason I'm telling some of the famous functions which will be written. If you see this, guys, this is the code. 1 minute, guys. Let me pass the recording. So are you getting my point, guys? Who will write the code for all these functions? These functions code will be written by the backend programmers. Only work you need to do, you have to come here, create a function app, and after you create the function app, guys, you need to the whatever code which is given by the backend programmer, you should tell them to copy that to the repo. Once they have done it, you have to create a build pipeline and release pipeline, and when you have to deploy the code to the backend application or backend function app. Are you getting my point, guys? Here I just only want you to tell that in real time the backend programmer can write HTTP trigger functions, timer trigger functions, service bus functions, queue trigger functions. So they can write a lot of the functions. And as a DevOps engineer, there is no need for you to know it. But I'm only telling them, when they use these words, you should know, guys, these all will be there in the functions.